And there we go. Now we're synced, and we're back at Dead Nation. We gotta make this episode fast. Chris is running out of hard drive space. His laptop has too much porn.
Too much porn. And not really, well, I mean, yeah, pretty much. And we're back for more Dead Nation? Or not, fuck Dead Nation. We want to talk about
We're back for
Bloodborne.
Dead Nation? We're back to talk about more Bloodborne, you mean?
Yeah, fuck Dead Nation. This game's okay. Okay, Bloodborne. Tom, this is the final topic that I have written down that I would like to talk about.
Okay.
What
Shoot it.
was your favorite area in the game? How about I start us off?
I was just going to say, define the areas, because this one might take me a while.
Okay, so the area that I thought that was the coolest and kind of the most challenging for me was the Forbidden Forest.
Oh.
Mostly because Harry Potter wasn't there, first off. But
And all the snakes. All the goddamn snakes.
So many snakes. And the reason I like that part is because it's not straightforward. There's no paths for you. You can kind of go up the cliffs and whatnot.
It's like, it's one of the more
not linear
open areas.
Yeah, you kind of just go. And if I actually had to kind of look up from where I was is how to get to the boss of that, which was the Forbidden, the three people. What I think they're called
the things from Harry Potter.
Yeah, the Death Eaters.
No,
Malfoy's dad was one of them. I think he was the fire guy.
No.
Beatrix was in it.
Not exactly. What are they called? The weird ghost specter things that were in Harry Potter.
No, dude, those are totally just the arbitrator or the arborators or whatever the hell those things are called. They pick you up and bring you around. Not Death Eater.
No, they're not Death Eaters. I can't remember what they're called. But then again, I read the Harry Potter books once, and that's my entire knowledge with them.
That's all you need to know. They don't get any better the third or fourth time you read them. But no, to me they're more like Malfoy's dad in them, where they're just fucking assholes. Yeah, I thought that was the hardest place because it doesn't tell you where to go. Like, I had to look up that you had to go underneath a tree to get to the boss area. Like, I would have never went under that. I just thought it was part of the level. Like, it was just like kind of like the border, and then all of a sudden you could go into the water and get under it. I was like, what the hell is this? And there's so many different ways to go, and there's giant snakes, there's small snakes, there's too many snakes. There's too many motherfucking snakes in that forest.
Like, that was another enemy where I'm just like, I don't know what you do. You move very slowly at me. I'm just not going to let you hit me ever.
Yeah. There's too many of you. I don't like it. And let's be real, nobody likes fucking snakes.
Well, especially when they're just literally like coils of 5 snakes each, ranging in size.
Let alone the big
compared to the super big ones that just shoot acid at you constantly. They're assholes.
Yeah.
That was probably one of my most hesitant times, was working my way through that forest.
Yeah. I think it was that, and then the castle, or the tower,
at the
I guess.
End?
Yeah, it was more like a tower.
The Nightmare Castle?
Yeah.
Or tower, whatever you want to call it.
I thought that place really sucked. But getting to the, what's the castle place? What was that one called again? Do you remember?
Which
the physical castle. With the king that with the king.
Oh boy, I can't remember, but that's an optional area. The snowy
and you had to
castle.
get the ladder, and then you had to go back to where the witches were, and then you get in the carriage.
Cool.
Yeah, I thought that was like one of the coolest parts of that game. And getting to the boss fight, where you actually fight him on top of the castle itself. Like, I thought, I was just kind of like, oh, I'm going to a secret area, running around on the fucking roof. But nope, that's the way you're supposed to go.
Yeah, that was one of the areas where I'm just like, this is actually a really significant change up.
Yeah.
And it really, if you think aesthetically, it's not really that much of a change. Just because it's one castle to another castle. Ooh.
Right.
But just the layout is so different from Yharnam. Like, Yharnam, you kind of get really used to that aesthetic, the Gothic aesthetic, but this is like a completely different type of era castle.
Yeah.
And I wasn't expecting it to make as much of a difference to me aesthetically looking at it, but it just really did.
Yeah, I thought it was a nice change to see snow, too. Like,
yeah.
I didn't expect
that's one thing that's really neat about the Souls games, is that, like, every single area feels, like, super different. Like, this area was more focused in the theming around Gothic horror, which I fucking loved the aesthetic. It's just that eventually you're just like, okay, all these areas kind of look the same. But they did have a few things that did change it up, like the forest, like the snowy castle.
Yeah. Or the, what was the other place that I really liked? I really enjoyed, it's like, never mind, I can't remember the name of it now. And I don't want to say something. Like? No, we'll just pass. I don't want to sound like
you can't even remember what it's called?
Yeah, that's the problem. So,
like, what was your favorite area in terms of, like, enemy layout? Like, where you felt that, like, the enemies were laid out in such a fashion that was, like, super exciting and fearful to walk through.
The beginning, when you go to that, when you're kind of by that bonfire, you know what I'm talking about? Right at the beginning.
Where you're just like, oh, these are the weakest guys in the game, and there's like 15 of them. I'm like, I can do that, and then they just decimate you.
Yeah, but you're sitting there and you're like, how the hell do I want to approach this? Because there's a lot of them, and if they all charge me, I don't know how to kill them because it's still early in the game, you know? To me, I was hesitant, I guess you could say. And then being that passive about it ended up getting me killed a bunch. Instead of just going in there, just doing what I had to get done. And then just using healing potions. Because I kind of thought that, like, healing potions
especially at the beginning of the game where blood vials they give you a lot right there.
Yeah, they were plentiful, but I didn't know that.
That was easily my blood vial farming area.
Yeah.
Because every now and again, I'd just run out of blood vials after taking on a tough boss and using them all and then dying. I was like, fuck! So I just ended up finding a really nice route through the beginning part of the game that guaranteed at least, like, 10 blood vials within 3 minutes.
But for me, I was, like, really hesitant about that because I'm like, well, I'm gonna die. If I die here, I'm gonna have no blood vials. I don't know how I'm gonna keep playing this game. And then it turns out that after you get 20 of them, you're able to stack them in
you can inventory
storage.
And you don't have to go back to the Hunter's Dream to get them back. That was a really clever design aspect. Is that you can store them in the storage and they automatically give them to you.
Yeah.
I wish they would have done that with all items, not just the bullets and the blood vials. Just because every now and again I'd be like, oh, great, I run out of antidotes in this poison swamp that I'm walking through constantly. I have to purposefully go back to buy antidotes.
Yeah.
That was a little annoying that they didn't carry that over to all items. But I'd have to say my favorite area going through it, even though it probably gave me most trouble because it was way too early for me going there, was Old Yharnam. Just because, like, you get partway through it, and then the guy who's, like, taunting you, telling you not to fucking come here, turns out he's got a goddamn chain gun on top of a frickin' tower. He's just shooting at you across the entire stage. It's like, fuck!
Yeah. And that's when I started watching you streaming that.
It, like, forces you... Yeah. It forces you to just rush into some areas and sometimes to your death before you know what the enemy layout is.
Yeah, like, when I got there, I didn't know that there was a stair to the right away. I just jumped down and ended up killing myself, and I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah, that was probably one of the most times where I was just like, I was like terrified because you have to get behind cover every now and again, or otherwise he just blasts you.
Yeah. What happened for me when I fought that guy was I ended up hitting him, and he just fell off the edge of the tower.
Oh, that's how I ended up killing him, too.
Yeah.
Did you go back to his dead body later for the item that he drops?
Yeah, I ended up going back, and his body respawned at the very top, which was very nice, because he was actually way down in a part that I couldn't get to.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I thought that was really
good. That's a good thing that they carried over from Dark Souls is that if there was like a super important NPC that dropped an important item, but you could kind of easily kill him by kicking him off, that's all you had to do was like restart the checkpoint, and then the item would just be there, whereas he would normally be.
Yeah, I thought that was probably one of the coolest features into that game, was that
where it's not just like
item.
You would kick him off the ledge and he's just like, oh, that item's gone forever. Fuck.
Yeah, Old Yharnam, definitely a cool place.
It definitely
the sewers,
the special place for me just because
aqueducts?
I was probably too low of a level to be going there, so I was having a lot more frustration than I was expecting to have.
The aqueduct I thought was interesting, like when you got to what the fuck was it at the end? The pig? I was like afraid. I didn't know what to do about him at first.
And those things were pretty fucking frustrating because they could like one shot you easily.
Yeah, and they just fall
goddamn
on you
pigs.
like fucking assholes.
Like and sometimes it's a slow strike. Like they'll raise up super slow and then they'll smack down. It's like, okay, I can dodge that pretty easily. But then like sometimes they just whip their head to the side and it's just like, fuck, you have no time to dodge that.
Yeah.
So you have to bait them into doing the large attack.
Yeah, that's how I ended up. I just kind of sidestepped that fucker after a while. Yeah, I thought the aqueduct was also, an interesting part because I didn't kind of know how to deal with those wolf guys. I mean, that's the second area you go to in the game. The wolfmen, or the wolf villagers, I guess. Yeah, that was kind of terrifying.
That was definitely a benefit to the game, was just how terrifying some locations really were.
Yeah, and like I said, no two places I felt the same. Like each place was different. Like it had its own kind of unique feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't feel like I was getting bored or running in the same area.
Mm-hmm. That definitely helps.
Yeah, definitely when you're creating a game to do that. And I like too that I didn't feel like I needed to look up a complete walkthrough to know what to do. Like I needed help. You just kind of play it and you kind of get to where you need to go.
Yeah. Yeah, and honestly, like, I can imagine that the beginning of it can be kind of frustrating for a lot of people, especially newcomers to the franchise, because they don't know the Dark Souls / Bloodborne rule, which is you play super cautiously until you find the checkpoint back to the lantern you came from. That's like an unspoken rule for the franchise. It's just like, you play safe until you find the shortcut.
Yeah, and that was...
Otherwise you lose all that progress and you have to kill all those people all over again just to get back. Like...
The sense of accomplishment when you found that lantern, you're just like, oh my god. Like,
yeah, where it's just like, whew, finally.
Yeah, you felt like you accomplished something. I know it's almost as good of a feeling as when you killed the boss.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I don't have to do that again. I can take the shortcut now.
Yep, I can now just take this elevator, and it's just like, oh, I just cut through all of that.
Yeah, now I can go right back to the boss that I was just fighting.
Mm-hmm. To go run back and get killed again. Yeah.
Yeah. Until I kill him. And then
Until I finally figure out his patterns enough to defeat him. God damn, I love Bloodborne.
Yeah, like I said, in one of the previous videos, I felt like this was the game that needed to come out at the exact right time.
Oh yeah, it was just like what's it called? What? Not the guys who made Dead Island.
Dying Light.
Called? Dying Light. Like that came out at the perfect time where, like, if it came out in November like it was originally slated to, it would not have gotten.
I wouldn't have gotten
any of the praise that it got. I never actually played it.
Yeah, I don't think Alyssa would have bought it either, because Alyssa and I got it, and I don't think we would have gotten it if it came out in November, because we were playing Dragon Age and Far Cry, which I still have to finish.
Took up my life for a month. 80 hours put into one playthrough.
It was kind of interesting that we actually played that same game, too. Never communicated for like a month, and we played it the same exact way.
Yeah, that was pretty ridiculous. Yeah, it turns out we both just played it,
Rangers.
Rogue Archers.
Yeah, Ranger, basically.
Which, yeah, once I figured out how to break that game, or break that class, it got pretty easy. So all you need to do is be an assassin archer. And you
Yeah.
can take down a dragon down to like half health with one combo, and you get the combo back in like 20 seconds.
Yeah, it turned out to be it was a fun game, but boy, was it easy.
Well, it wasn't too particularly challenging, except for when you actually got to the dragon fights before you ended up figuring out how to break the game.
I think the hardest dragon was clearly now we're swapping topics now, Dragon Age, I guess.
Well, fuck it. We're going to Dragon Age now. We talked about Bloodborne for the last 2.5 episodes. I think some people might appreciate a change up.
Yeah. The final dragon at level 21, where he was sitting inside that Colosseum.
The 3 dragons and the one sitting at the bottom of the Colosseum. That was one of the easiest dragons for me. Just because
I didn't know how to get down
he didn't have any of
jumped.
he didn't have any of the stupid staged
To fly
fights.
away.
Yeah, where he flies away for a while, fires fireballs at you for a while. It's just like that just got frustrating because it just means that every time he fires, I have to pause it, tell all my people to move away, and then unpause it. It was just like wasted minutes of time just because he had to go and fly. But that was like the earliest dragon fights were the first time I actually had to use that tactical camera.
The first one, especially. The first dragon fight. Holy shit. But boy, did you feel good once you killed that first dragon.
Yeah. Dragon Age, like, does what, like, few story-based RPGs or choice-based RPGs do for me, which is, like, make me seriously contemplate my decisions. Like, there was one towards the end where you can give the magic pool that gives, like, all the information, all the memories. You can choose to either give it to Morgan, or you can choose to take it for yourself, or I think possibly not take it at all. And I sat there for like 3 minutes, and I'm just like, if I let her have it, that means this, and this, and this. But if I take it, I actually don't know what it's gonna do to me, and honestly, this Inquisition is nothing without me. Like, I thought about it for so long. But I tried to go back and play it on the nightmare setting, and I tried to do it with the daggers. Not gonna happen. Not gonna fucking happen. They do way too much damage, and you're way too out in the open. We can talk about, or I don't think you had the chance to play it yet, but Axiom Verge.
I actually went and downloaded it. I don't know if you noticed this, but before we started doing this, I actually logged into your account and downloaded it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, why the fuck did I get kicked out?
Yeah, that was me. I didn't want to say nothing, though, because I just wanted to surprise you and start playing it tomorrow, but...
Mm-hmm.
I wish you would step back from that ledge, my friend. We could cut ties with all the lies that you've been living in. And I would understand. Did you ever watch that movie, Yes Man?
No.
With Jim Carrey? Dude, it's really funny. Like, new Jim Carrey movies suck, except for the number 23. But man,
I never watched it.
Oh, it's actually really good, Tom.
Is it?
Yeah.
I was expecting nothing of it.
And
also, I haven't watched the movie in forever.
Yeah. Well, see, you started saying something about Axiom Verge, and then you stopped because I died.
Yeah, because we got fucking distracted.
Anywho, Axiom Verge, right. Go.
Well, Axiom Verge, go. This is the end.
Okay. Oh, that's the end of the... Oh, wow. Next time!
Next time, I guess we talk about Axiom Verge.
Damn straight. Dude, I got the Gravedigger trophy twice.
Nice.
Yeah, it popped
Double
up
trophies.
Twice. Yeah, blown to bits.
Oh, whatever. Fuck it.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll take that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next episode, Axiom Verge. And probably leading off onto old school Metroidvania style games.
Probably.
All right.
Yeah.
Laters.
Later.